My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC fight picks and DraftKings lineups run by MMA insiders and professional fighters. Every week, I join Dan Kramer and Nick Newell, two longtime professional fighters that have fought at the highest levels on the planet, as well as Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. So join us every single week for our full fight card breakdowns, our individual fight card breakdowns, our betting guide, and our DraftKings lineups. Next up at UFC Vegas 33, we have Kyung Ho Kang versus Rani Yahya. Rani Yahya, our boy, won us a bunch of, at least me, I think you won it too, Danny. Yeah, won us a bunch of money.
I've won so much money.
Won us a bunch of money in his last outing, and his last outing felt very similar to this one. An underdog coming in. They expect him. He's old. There's no way he can continue to pull out these takedowns and these submissions and blah, blah, blah. Kyung Ho Kang, 17-8 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, riding a 3-fight win streak. Rani Yahya, 27-10. I mean, this dude, I think he was even in the WEC, so he has been around for a very, very long time. He's definitely slowing down a bit, but, I mean, he looks really good. His hands have gotten better over the years. His grappling was already there. He really, at his age, still somehow improves and becomes a more complete fighter every single fight. He is 3-1-1 in his last 5. We know Rani Yahya, so I'll do him second, but Kyung Ho Kang hasn't fought in 2 years. He is a well-rounded fighter. He uses his range well. He keeps you at distance when he wants and then works in his range really well to get some takedowns from there. He is primarily a grappler. He has top-heavy submissions, but nowhere near the grappler that Rani Yahya is. Rani is an unbelievable grappler with very, very high-level jiu-jitsu. He is well-rounded. He has worked in. He's developed quite the striking game, and his wrestling is legitimately good. He is not one of these old-school jiu-jitsu guys that will just fall down begging for it. He will earn those takedowns.
I think it's him and Ryan Hall that have developed their games. They started off as the traditional jiu-jitsu guys and then developed into fantastic strikers, good wrestlers. I think him and Ryan Hall are right there.
So either way, this is a somewhat hard fight to pick because Kang will also want to wrestle and grapple to win, but Yanni is by far the better grappler. Kang is the better striker, so that's how he can get this done. But if he, if Kang can ignore his grappling instincts and only strike, he can probably outstrike Rani. Ronnie's going to come in with big, heavy bombs, look for those takedowns. But I'm on Rani again. I'm just going to keep riding this train, honestly. I have him in my DraftKings. I have a money line bet on him, and I have wins inside the distance, decision, no action bet on him as well. If Rani pulls off a submission, I get paid. If he loses a decision, which is how he would lose this fight, if he loses a decision, I get a refund. No big deal. I'm all over Rani here, and maybe I'm just still riding the high of the last win, but I'm surprised he's an underdog. Dude, Kang, a 2-year layoff, coming back. He's primarily a grappler. They matched him up against this grappler. I don't see it for him. Jacob, pull your head up, look in the camera, and tell us your thoughts.
I don't know how you can be so high on Rani Yahya and just trash Ryan Hall. They're the same person. They both just want submissions.
Except one knows how to wrestle, and the other one is at a children's tumble class.
Ryan Hall would outstrike, would spinning heel kick Rani Yahya to the next dimension.
Rani Yahya would bombard him with.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
Close the distance.
Knock it off, guys! Come on.
Knock it off.
So Kyung. Listen, his last loss in like the last 5 years was against a former lock of the week, Ricardo Ramos. So there's nothing bad about that. It was a split decision loss. And listen, this is the most important fact we can remember: best wrestling in the world. Everyone knows Arkansas wrestling. Second best wrestling in the world. I think it's Guyana wrestling. It's number 2 in the world. Number 3 in the world, South Korea wrestling in Kyung. He's an incredible wrestler, but this is how he needs to wrestle against Yahya. Otherwise, he's going to get in a lot of trouble. He needs to watch the fight of Ricky Simone versus Yahya because that was the best wrestling I've ever seen. Ricky Simone was literally just kind of grabbing a leg, picking him up, throwing him, and then just letting him go, saying, I'm not even going to play with your guard at all. I think he was taken out 4 or 5 times. He was 0-9 versus Simone in takedowns, but it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Simone literally would just kind of hit him, throw him down, and was not going to play in his guard at all. I think Kyung is a good enough grappler to do that type of game plan. Unfortunately, I don't know if he's going to. I think he's probably going to be able to take Yahya down. Yahya will accept it and then probably find a submission. But I think this is Kyung's fight to lose. I think he should win. But he needs to be really, really smart with his wrestling and not do anything crazy. But so I like Kyung, but I don't trust it enough because because it's Yahya, man, and just what he does. It's what he does.
Well, and that's why I said I think Kang needs to avoid his instincts.
Right?
He needs to not wrestle. Just avoid your instincts and just try to be as technical as possible and keep the distance. Danny boy, you're a Yahya fan. Are you here too?
I'm all over Yahya on this one. I like him. I like him. Listen, it's 2 grapplers for the most part, right? Kang's got some striking. Some will say it's better striking. I would say it's just more technical striking. Yahya's got, we see him. He throws bombs, and he closes the distance with bombs and gets it to the ground. Like you said, Kang has looked really good when he's trying to. He's got decent wrestling. He takes people down. He's not. I don't think he'll try to do that in this fight. Yahya is the superior wrestler by far. Just stylistically, I was just looking at both the records. So Yahya's got out of 27 fights, I think 16.
I think with one more, with one more submission, I think he breaks the bantamweight record for most submissions because he said that's what I'm going for.
Right. So Kang has 17 wins, 11 of them submissions. So these guys like fighting on the ground. They like going for subs. They like grappling. Kudos to Kang if he can totally switch up his game plan and all of a sudden become a defensive striker and use his footwork. But that's not easy to do, 20-something fights in your career when you've made it, your entire career off of doing things a certain way. So I think he'll try. I think he'd be smart to try. But I think at some point the distance is going to get closed. Yahya is going to throw big shots. They're going to end up on the ground, and I think Yahya is going to win on the ground. The only thing that worries me is the cardio in the later rounds, but I don't know that Kang's cardio is all that great either. So I like Yahya in this fight. I just think stylistically he matches up well. He's the better grappler, and he's getting older, but he's only 36. It's not like he's 39, 40 years old.
It's so funny. In my head, he's so old, and I'm like, oh my God, he's younger than I am.
Yeah, he's 36. So, and he is legit.
How old are you? I'm doing the math on my head. What younger?
Are you 50 yet, Angelo, or you just look 50?
I'm not aging well.
Jeez,
the guy's 24 years old.
I didn't expect you to give in that easily. Now I feel bad. It's hard for me to do.
One knew he was 24.
I like Yahya in this fight. I just think he's the much better grappler, fighting another guy who's a grappler. And we'll see if Kang pulls off a perfect game plan and jabs and moves. Okay, kudos to him. I just don't see it happening. I think Yahya's going to win.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, Yahya was in my lineup, but then I wanted to do the double lock of the week, and I didn't quite trust him enough, and I really wanted the other person as my lock of the week, so I could put Yahya in my lineup, but I went the other way. So I like him in this matchup too. Either
way, I think we go more on strikes. Definitely less for Kang's 103, and then more for Ronnie's 58.5. I don't like splitting, but I think I will split this. This is
another one where I think this is an inside the distance because I think it ends up on the ground, and I think Yahya probably finishes it, or maybe Kyung with the TKO just is able to grab a pound.
Dan, I don't need to hear you slurping.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
With the microphone that close to your mouth.
I think I dipped my microphone actually in my drink that time.
That was absurd. I agree with you, Jacob. That's why I did the Yahya wins inside the distance decision, no action.
You said
Yahya getting submitted. I don't see that happening. So either way, that's our breakdown. I'm really looking forward to this fight. And honestly, this could be one of those disaster striking matches because they are both good grapplers. I don't see that happening though. I think they're both too determined to get it to the ground.